And what Charlie Kirk does at these campuses to really offer people an opportunity to engage is something unlike anything I've ever seen before, and that resonates with me so in my core because I absolutely love to do that. I absolutely believe that's how we make America great. That's how we bring people together. What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. I am Brian, and I'm here today on the morning of September 11th, 2025 to give you my thoughts on what happened to Charlie Kirk. September 11th of all days, really unbelievable. And I actually didn't know anything really about Charlie Kirk until this happened yesterday, but I have done a lot of digging, a lot of watching interviews that he's done at college campuses. And the reason for this video, if you know this channel, is I don't shy away from controversial subjects at all. I don't really seek them out, but when they come up and I feel like I have something important to say, I just go out and say it, and that's why I'm here right now. And a big part of this is because I feel like a kindred spirit to what Charlie Kirk did, not necessarily in what he believed concretely, but how he approached life. A lot of people don't know this about me, and it's possible that the other person out there is watching this or will watch this someday, but once upon a time, I had an extremely close friend, and we were very diametrically opposed. And we would meet up very consistently several times a week, whether it's for coffee or to meet up at someone's house or just get dinner in a public restaurant, and we would very proactively debate the latest and greatest current events, just in public, in front of everyone. Very, very heated exchanges, always respectful. And it is one of the joys of my life having gotten to do that with this person. And it is very much what I see Charlie Kirk doing when he goes to these college campuses and engages all of these students. And what was really shocking in the wake of this, the immediate aftermath of Charlie Kirk's shooting, not even his death, that took a little time to get out, was just how extreme the reactions were on both sides and how everyone tried to kind of play this up to fit their agenda. There were people celebrating his death on the left and showing no empathy, no remorse, no caring whatsoever. And there are people on the right who, well, this is honestly looking like it's turning out to be the case, are going to make him a martyr. And that's certainly happening because in the wake of his death, literally all of social media is his content, and I expect it's going to be consumed now by an exponential number of people. So it's really fascinating how this stuff works. There's stuff that I want to talk about here. It may not be in any particular order. It's kind of a Thursday morning musing, so to speak. But the friend that I spoke about for myself that I no longer speak with, it was actually over a disagreement, just an ideology, a belief. It's going to sound really silly, but when you do this for years back and forth, eventually you hit a breaking point and you realize what the other person's about and that it just doesn't align with you anymore. I basically said that Trevor Noah was not as funny as Jon Stewart or did not deserve the same level of success immediately because Jon Stewart and fame is a tricky beast. It's nuanced. It's not just black and white. His claim was that Trevor Noah had the same material on the same show and therefore deserved the same audience, the same following. And I don't really care about that argument anymore. But that's the reason that we no longer speak. He felt one way, I felt another, and we parted ways and we haven't talked since. But this is key. I didn't go shoot him in the face. There was no physical altercation. And what Charlie Kirk does at these campuses to really offer people an opportunity to engage is something unlike anything I've ever seen before, and that resonates with me so in my core because I absolutely love to do that. I absolutely believe that's how we make America great. That's how we bring people together. We don't have to agree on everything, but if we can talk about it and we can engage, then we can still be friends at the end of the day. I have seen a lot of people take what Charlie has said and try to use it against him. Things like having no empathy, things like blacks were better in the 1940s, things like women should not be allowed to have abortions. And there's a difference between me and him in terms of our core beliefs. I definitely don't align with him on his principles, and he very much sticks to them. He's very much certain in who he is, and I respect that. I respect actually someone who can take a position, maintain that position, be strong and firm, and expound upon his position publicly in the face of open attack. That's just a very impressive thing to do. And if you came at Charlie from the videos I've seen, you better come correct, because he's going to be ready. He's prepared. That's kind of the challenge. You're kind of trying to climb to the mountaintop and dethrone the leader. You better expect that it's going to be difficult. But it opened up just very meaningful discourse, and it's really unfortunate he's gone, because seeing him operate this way for me personally has me wishing that I could have engaged with him in person publicly somewhere. And so I don't know what to tell you. You know, my channel is really all about sharing joy. You'll see tons of shorts of my 2.5-year-old daughter. That's just another unfortunate thing, that Charlie has this wonderful, beautiful family that he's no longer going to be able to raise. It's honestly a personal fear of mine, not being around for my daughter long enough. That's part of why I make these videos, knock on wood. I want her to know who I am, what I'm about, who she is, and I think that's really important. And I think one of the things that Charlie advocated for, when you listen to him speak, it's very rational. You might not like his position, but he very rationally defends it. And the idea that kids need a father is something that he preached as being incredibly important to the fabric of American society. With a 2.5-year-old, I know that to be the case. And so I can't imagine what his family is going through right now. But I do think that America is better than what we see on the vocal fringes. I live in a very affluent area in the Bay Area. A lot of people in the country think California is a dump. Quite frankly, where I live is absolutely stunning. It's a wonderful, beautiful place to live, incredibly safe, plenty to do. Probably my favorite place on the face of this planet, of everywhere that I've ever been, in terms of settling down and raising a family. It's also extremely expensive to live this way in California. And that's kind of the problem. That's kind of what Charlie was getting at. He talked about people vacating these liberal states and going to Republican-run states because the Republican way is better. And it probably is for a lot of people with less means. When you have means in California, you kind of ignore the noise. You kind of just go about your day, because it's honestly freaking crazy. But I feel like a lot of people in society are like that. I don't know how many people are on the front lines on either side butting heads with each other, but I think most people are well-meaning Americans that just want to live a good life, have a wonderful community, and have a great and strong America. And if that's the case, we need to not allow this sort of behavior. It's just really concerning. I don't know how we don't allow it. Maybe we just don't pay attention to it. We've got this weird dichotomy of social media is designed to suck you in. It uses the most jarring imagery that you can imagine. I saw Charlie get shot from 5 different angles yesterday, the whole thing all the way through. And growing up, that never would have happened. I don't know when it became acceptable in America to watch someone get murdered, but that's where we're at. And the fact that we're there and we have some people celebrating it is just unthinkable. But again, that's where we're at. I don't have an answer for you, but I want to encourage you and tell you that there are normal people in this country, that we don't need to be at odds with each other, that the purpose of my channel and the videos I make is to share joy and to find a common ground. And together, I think we will be fine. As a country, I think we will be fine. I don't know what to tell you, but I think that in the core of most people's hearts, they are well-meaning, and I think that is a solid foundation for us, and we need to spread the love, and we need to be more like Charlie, and we need to invite open discourse about things even if we disagree, without killing the other person over their thoughts. I mean, that's the part of this that I think really is the most upsetting, is he felt a certain way, he believed certain things to his core, but he only ever talked about it with people with the intent to engage and discuss, have a discourse, find common ground, or agree to disagree. There was no malice in his intent, and he was killed for it. The other weird thing, just random thoughts, this idea that somehow this bad actor that took him out needs to be owned by the left or the right is just very odd to me. It's like, no, disown that. That's just obscene, egregious, unacceptable behavior. Why does anybody need to own that? I didn't do that. I could disagree with him, and I didn't do that. The weird part is when people come in and celebrate it. Like, that shouldn't happen. Nobody should be proud of the person that committed this crime. Nobody should be celebrating this person. And if you are, then I honestly think you need to step back and think about the difference between social media and real life, and the consequences of killing somebody in the real world and what that means for their family and the rest of us going forward. Finally, this idea that rhetoric has caused this, that people are responsible for this from language, I don't have a good answer here either. It's just a compelling thing to think about. Charlie used language and he amassed a gigantic following. Language is powerful. It absolutely is. I believe that to my core too. I believe that anybody can do anything with the power of language. And if you've seen Inception, that's a great example of how a thought can change someone's mind and change the direction of, honestly, the world, depending on whose thoughts you've influenced. I think Charlie saw that. I think he knew the power of language. I think he was using it to his absolute advantage to grow and achieve what he was trying to achieve. And he was killed for it because other people were threatened by it. This idea that rhetoric in the public can produce these outcomes is interesting. It might be true. But when you contrast that against this idea that free speech is incredibly important and everyone should be allowed to say whatever they want to say, well, now you've got a dichotomy. What is it? Are you allowed to say what you want to say, or are you producing violence with the rhetoric that you're using? I don't have an answer there either. I do think that there is a difference between open debate about ideas and hateful, spiteful, directed malice towards an individual, but I don't know who should police that. We don't have a speech police here. Anyway, this is getting long. I know it's a bit of rambling, a bit of all over the place, but I really like to share my ideas. This is one of the favorite things that I do on this channel, and I really wanted to get this out there because I was feeling some type of way about it, and now I feel better having put it on the record for whatever it's worth. I'm really sorry to Charlie's family. I'm really sorry to everybody that loved and respected him and wished that they saw him have a very long, fulfilled career. It's a dark day in the world when we have to live with this sort of violence, but I don't think it represents us all. So let's be better, let's do better. That's all I've got for this one. Thank you for watching. I appreciate you, and I will see you at the next one soon.